Hello and welcome. This is ASRock B860M-X Wi-Fi Micro ATX motherboard. This is for LGA 1851 or Intel Core Ultra Arrow Lake CPUs. Arrow Lake CPUs are largely considered a flop, but then AMD's Ryzen 9000 series didn't fare much better either. Anyway, this is one of the most inexpensive motherboards for the LGA 1851 platform. There are two cheaper boards from Asus and Gigabyte, but both are based on H810M chipset and are missing some important features like built-in Wi-Fi, 2.5G network port, a second M.2 slot, and most importantly, a BIOS flashback button. BIOS flashback feature is a very safe way to update your BIOS, and you don't need a compatible CPU either. So, that feature alone makes this motherboard the best among low-priced Arrow Lake motherboards. Some people dislike seeing only 2 RAM slots. For me though, I welcome 2 RAM slot motherboards because it makes the motherboard physically smaller. This is a fairly important aspect for small form factor builds, including some rack mount builds. A good example of this is Johnsbow C6 case. A motherboard with 2 RAM slot makes the build so much easier. Of course, the obvious downside of having just 2 RAM slots is the reduced path for RAM upgradability. For most users though, a pair of RAM slots is more than enough. Finally, I like the restrained use of heatsinks. Some motherboards have just too much of it. Now, before booting up, I am going to update the BIOS first by using the flashback feature. Actually, before doing that, let's take a quick look at the box itself. Not much is in motherboard boxes nowadays, but then I have rarely purchased high-end motherboards. But they still did used to include a manual and a DVD, if you still remember that. DVD was first to go, and then they don't even include a manual anymore. Well, you get an I/O shield along with some stuff for M.2 installation, along with Wi-Fi antennae and 2 SATA cables. You do get a quick start guide, which does include front header panel layout. Good enough, I guess. Every motherboard manufacturer requires different preparations for using the BIOS flashback feature. But the basic gist is that you stick a USB drive containing a compatible BIOS file into a USB port that is specifically designated to use for BIOS flashback. Without powering on the motherboard, you push the button. You will see a flashing light. It will flash more frequently and then will shut off at one point, which is a signal that BIOS update is complete. At least, that is how it works with ASRock motherboards. Thank you for watching and see you next time. I say this now because I don't have much to say about the BIOS screen itself. It's just regular BIOS with regular features. At one point during the BIOS exploration, I am going to adjust PL1 value to 75 and PL2 value to 125. I will essentially downclock the CPU to reduce heat. This is one aspect Intel does better than AMD. Intel makes it very easy to downclock any CPU.